Hello everybody, it's Alex here. It's time for another discussion video. It's Tuesday, well actually it's Sunday when I'm recording this, but I'm gonna upload this on Tuesday. There are really two topics I wanted to talk about this week, so this is gonna be a really long video, so buckle up. I also have an announcement at the end of the video, so I talk about that in like the second clip in this video, so just, there you go. And also for the first clip, I want to address this. I want to apologize because my audio is terrible, and that's because I was wearing these Powerbeat earbuds, and I was recording off of Zoom because I don't have a real screen recorder. So that's why my audio sucks, because I was wearing these. So I apologize for that. You can still make out what I'm saying. It's just going to be really hard, so I apologize. The second clip, I don't have these on, so I'm a lot more audible. So yeah, let's talk about some dystopian stuff.
So, first things first, we got this right here. House panel approves $25 billion boost for defense budget. Some, that's just, that's amazing. I already kind of did a video about this. You can check it out on the YouTube card, actually. I did a song parody for this when the Senate passed it, but now it passed the House. Not a surprise, but I mean, it did happen. As you can see right here, according to the Hill, the House Armed Services Committee voted Wednesday to add nearly $25 billion to President Biden's proposed defense budget, as more than a dozen Democrats sided with Republicans on bulking up Pentagon funding. The committee voted 42 to 17. And so the 2022 fiscal defense budget at $778 billion, $37 billion more than approved for this year, and $25 billion more than financed for next year. So, what is that? That's like a over $50 billion, no, over $60 billion. It's over $60 billion increase. And just look at this. Look at this. 4.7 billion more for shipbuilding, 1.7 billion more for aircraft, and 870 million more for combat vehicles. So that's exactly what we need. That is exactly what we need more of that. Especially as we're like getting out of Afghanistan, we definitely need more building up of that stuff. But we end one war, we start another one. This is just what happens in the U.S. And we're just gonna go over. We're just gonna go over what we We're going to go over some things here, specifically over the Democrats who supported the bill. Today, we need to put forward an authorization that projects strength, shows real strength, not strength, peace through strength. That has been the defining aspect of our foreign policy for centuries, for decades, and it hasn't worked. It is forward thinking, yeah, it really is. Let's hold on to that because I feel we'll come back to that. And treat our service members with dignity and respect. If you want to treat your service members with dignity and respect, you wouldn't keep giving the military more and more money for us to fight endless wars that we don't need. I wouldn't call that treating service members with dignity and respect, but whatever. Representative Elaine, a Democrat of Virginia, said, "The president's budget, I have been saying ever since it was released, does not do enough. It's an increased budget. Biden already called for an increased Pentagon budget. How is it not enough? We already have by far and away the biggest military in the world. How is already increasing it not enough? You imperialist warmonger." Don't worry, we'll get to that in a minute. We need 3 to 5% real growth, whatever that means. But anyway, here we go with Elaine right here. This was back in February. Yep, February 1st. Elaine paid off campaign debt using corporate PAC money she said she'd reject. PACs of cigarette companies, defense contractors donate to Virginia Democrats. So not only is she a liar by saying she would reject corporate PAC money and then she used it to pay off campaign debt, but she took money from freaking defense contractors. Let's see right here. Corporate political action committees gave to Representative Elaine more than $30,000 in the final week of 2020 after the Virginia Democrat reversed her policy of refusing such donations. Okay, so she's going back on her word. Okay, that's I'm not surprised or anything, but still, Luria, who ended her 2020 re-election race owing more than she had in her campaign account, used corporate contributions from the PACs of Google, Altria, Raytheon, and General Dynamics, and others to pay off her debt, according to recent filings with the Federal Election Commission. So she's bought. She's bought known by these defense contractors, because that's Washington for you. And you know, this is also notable because back in June, I think it was, the House voted for a bill that would repeal the AUMF, the Authorization for Use of Military Force, which was basically the justification for war in Iraq. She was the only Democrat to vote against it. Now we know why. In addition to Luria, Democratic representatives, we're going to go through them one by one, because yes, this is what I do with my free time. Don't at me. Jim Langevin of Rhode Island. His top two contributors through his this is one Open Secrets, great resource. His top contributors since his first run for office were General Dynamics and Raytheon Technologies. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Joe Courtney of Connecticut, that's my home state. He's not my representative, but I mean, I'm glad he's not. Since his first election, General Dynamics and Raytheon Technologies, that's just wonderful. Seth Moulton of Massachusetts, that's essentially my adopted home state because it's where I go to college, but again, he's not my representative. Thank God, during this election, he's already taken $5,000 from the defense tax. May not sound like much, but again, it all adds up because clearly he's listening to it. Anthony Brown of Maryland, Litos, and L3 Harris, defense contractors. Those are his top contributors through his time in office. Philemon Vela, I think I pronounce it, of Texas. 2020, his last election, he took over $55,000 from defense corporate tax. Mikey Sherrill, 2020, almost $85,000 from defense corporate PAC. Jared Golden of Maine, this is a leadership PAC, American Defense and Military PAC. This is the PAC of Congressman Adam Schiff of California. You can see right here, Jared Golden, Maine, $10,000 right there. As you can see, and this matters because some of their top contributors, General Dynamics, Northrop Grumman, Honeywell, L3 Harris, BAE, all $10,000 a piece. That's the answer right there. Kai Kahele of Hawaii, 2021, so far has taken over $16,000 from defense corporate PAC. Mark Veazey of Texas, top contributor this election cycle so far has been L3 Harris, and second highest contributing industry this election cycle has been defense aerospace. Stephanie Murphy of Florida, during 2020, she took $71,000 from defense PAC. Stephen Horsford of Nevada, PAC to the Future. This is a leadership PAC from Nancy Pelosi. Stephen Horsford, $20,000. That's not a drop in the bucket right there. And this PAC during the last election, they took a lot of money from Raytheon, $5,000, Northrop Grumman, $10,000, and Huntington Ingalls, $6,000. That all adds up to more than $20,000. So more than what they gave to him. Salud Carbajal of California, for the last election, he took $65,000 from defense PAC. And last but not least, Alyssa Slotkin, Ameripac. This is Anywhere PAC. Alyssa Slotkin, she took $10,500. See, that's BAE Systems, Lockheed Martin, Huntington, $10,000 a piece. And you know that goes on. So you know, that's pretty much it. That's everyone those are the Democrats who voted for this Pentagon budget increase, and that's how much money they took from the industry. And you know, just to put things in perspective here, Public Citizen asked, "Is this a joke? Common Dream. Analysis shows the U.S. could help vaccinate the world from COVID-19 for $25 billion, but Biden pledges $25 billion, excuse me. So over cost of $25 billion to vaccinate the entire world against COVID-19, which would go quite a ways in ending the pandemic. There you go. Unfortunately, Public Citizen, no, this is not a joke. I wish it were a joke. I mean, I suppose you could call it a joke, but wouldn't a joke have to be funny? This is not funny. This is just imperialistic. And they'll say, your reminder that the Afghanistan war cost taxpayers $3 million a day for the last 20 years. But somehow we can't afford to cancel student debt. That's right. Student debt is like what, $1.7 trillion? So I don't know, like I'm not going to do the math on this, but I am pretty sure that it wouldn't take 20 years for that number to add up to the point where we could cancel student debt. Pretty sure it wouldn't take that long. And let's look at this right here. How much would it cost to end homelessness in America? according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, it would cost $20 billion to end homelessness in the United States. Not $20 billion annually, just a one shot of $20 billion. That is a big number, yes. It's not really a big number, not compared to that at least. So we have $25 billion for the Pentagon, but we don't have $20 billion, $5 billion less than that to end homelessness. Perfect sense. And you know, just as like a rubbing salt in the wound here, just a cherry on top of this all, we just got that IPCC report that says that we've essentially made our beds when it comes to climate change, and we're gonna see the worst effects. Well, I'm not gonna say the worst, but there's no going back to this. There's no the best we can do at this point is mitigate the worst of it. And Democrats are like, well, we believe in the science. We think climate change is real, but they're not going to do a damn thing about it. And this is a proof of that, because look right here. U.S. military, single largest contributor to climate change. A new report published by the Watson Institute at Brown University, well, it's not really new at this point, because this was published in mid-2019, so it's over 2 years old, but still to make it not accurate, has shined a new light on the role of the U.S. military in climate change. And so this is just, and it says the war machine is thirsty for oil, which is not surprising considering we go to war for oil overseas in the Middle East. So yeah, this is disgraceful, but not surprising. Every Democrat, so all these Democrats, again, I'm going to list them for you right here. Elaine of Virginia, Jim Langevin of Rhode Island, Joe Courtney of Connecticut, Seth Moulton of Massachusetts, Anthony Brown of Maryland, Suleiman Vela of Texas, Mikey Sherrill of New Jersey, Jared Golden of Maine, Kaika Hele of Hawaii, Mark Veazey of Texas, Stephanie Murphy of Florida, Stephen Horsford of Nevada, Salud Carbajal of California, and Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan. That is 14 Democrats. Primary every single one of them. I want to see a primary challenge for every single one of them. I know. Okay. We need to like be focusing on these people, because these people are not allies. They're imperialist warmongers who would rather spend this money on enriching their donors instead of ending homelessness, vaccinating the world, canceling student debt. And they're not environmentalists. They can pop up, oh, see, I'm better on this issue than my opponent. Well, you're funding the biggest contributor when it comes to climate change. So no, you're not. This is primary them all. Primary them all. I hopefully we get to see that. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping. But these are our enemies, and these are the people that cannot be trusted.
Well, I had to talk about this somehow. Supreme Court declines to block Texas 6-week abortion ban. I'm sure everybody's heard about this by now. You know, they're saying, oh, this is the beginning of the end for Roe v. Wade and all that. Well, let's take a look at it. The Supreme Court late Wednesday declined to halt a Texas law banning abortions as early as 6 weeks of pregnancy, which, by the way, is before most women even know they're pregnant, allowing the nation's most restrictive measure to remain in effect. This is like the strictest abortion law currently in the U.S. right now. So that's pretty. It is pretty terrifying. I don't want to I know earlier on it might sound like I was downplaying it. I'm not downplaying it. It is a terrible bill. We'll talk more about it as we go along. The court ruled 5-4 against providing relief to abortion providers, who asked the Supreme Court on Monday to put the law, which outlaws most abortions in the state, on hold. Chief Justice John Roberts and the 3 liberal justices who were in dissent. In its opinion, the majority acknowledged that abortion providers have raised serious questions regarding the constitutionality of the Texas law at issue, but said their request to the court presents complex and novel procedural questions that have prevented them from meeting their burden. So this is where I think a lot of people are misconstruing what this means. Now, was the Supreme Court correct to uphold the law, at least temporarily? No, I don't believe they were. But doesn't automatically mean that they're going to overturn Roe, because this is more like a technical thing, and it's more like it's more like a temporary hold, I suppose you could say. And it's just right here, the decision The decision from the Supreme Court is a significant victory for anti-abortion advocates, which you can't deny, who are looking to the High Court's expanded 6-3 conservative majority to chip away at Roe v. Wade. The court is poised to hear this fall a case involving Mississippi's 15-week abortion ban, and a decision upholding that measure could clear the way for more restrictive abortion laws. So that's really what it comes down to. And you know what? I think a lot of people who, when Amy Coney Barrett was approved for the Supreme Court, with a 6-3 conservative majority, they're saying, "Oh my God, Roe is in jeopardy. Oh my God, marriage equality is in jeopardy." And maybe it is, but I don't think that's the big thing to be worried about. I think the big thing to be worried about is what they're going to do regarding economic regulations, because last time we had a 6-3 conservative court of what was known as the Lochner era, where every minuscule economic regulation in the book was struck down as unconstitutional. And nowadays, when we have legalized bribery in our system, that is even more likely to be the case. But I'll get to that in a minute, because I actually do want to make an announcement after this, because this has inspired me for a future video. So, is it possible the Supreme Court overrules Roe v. Wade? Yes, it is possible they do that. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But let's not pretend that they're going to essentially make it. You know, I went on Dirty Left Feet, which is a podcast with my friend Niall Elcom. I don't do it with him, but I was just a guest on it about less than 2 months ago. You can check out my episode right over here. He said in that episode, they're going to make it technically legal, but practically impossible. So while it is technically legal to get an abortion, it's pretty much impossible, because there are going to be clinics shutting down everywhere. They're not going to do a damn thing regarding that. And yeah, that's essentially what it's going to be. So even if they do uphold Roe, make no mistake about it, they're not like some sort of protection, like some crusaders for reproductive rights or something like that. The Democratic Party appears to be pretty united in opposition to this, or so they say. The House will vote late in September to protect abortion rights after the Supreme Court rejected a request to block the new Texas law. And so here, Democrats have coalesced around the Women's Health Protection Act, which would enshrine protections of Roe v. Wade into law. Representative Judy Chu of California, the lead author of the bill, says. The House is expected to vote on the measure in the week of September 2nd. So the problem with that is, even if it does pass the House, which it probably will, it is dead on arrival in the Senate, because it's weird. This is right here. Pro-choice GOP Senators Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. Let's not call them pro-choice, because they showed their colors when they approved Brett Kavanaugh in the case of Collins and Amy Coney Barrett in the case of Murkowski to the court. So let's stop calling them pro-choice, because they don't really show that through their voting record. But moving on. There are two anti-choice Democratic senators who have to co-sponsor the bill. Senator Bob Casey of Pennsylvania, and of course, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who have not co-sponsored the bill. So it's not going to pass the Senate unless they get rid of the filibuster or do some sort of carve out to the filibuster or reform the filibuster. You got to do something with the filibuster if you want to get anything passed. But by that point, every other political commentator on this website has said that. So yeah, they could codify Roe v. Wade into law, especially if they want to like show. But there's also been like the talk of expanding the Supreme Court. Again, I'll get to that in a minute because I want to talk about that. But for now, I want to talk about like why the whole like right-wing freak out against abortions is completely stupid. So here's why. Human Life International. This is why women get abortions. You see this? This is a pie chart of why women get abortions. 1.14 done to save the life or physical health of the mother. 1.28% to preserve the mental health of the mother. 0.39% in cases of rape or incest. 0.69, nice, for fetal birth defects or eugenics. 3.5% for all hard cases combined, and 96.5%, that is nearly all of them, 96.5% of all abortions are therefore performed for social or economic reasons. So basically because the mother can't, or the parents can't afford to take care of the baby. I wonder what would solve that problem. Could it be passing paid maternity leave, paid vacation time, passing a living wage, guaranteeing Medicare for all? Could it be that? No, it couldn't. We just gotta stop abortion. Even though just criminalizing it's not gonna do a damn thing to stop it. Nah, screw addressing the root causes. Nah. This is what we gotta do right here. So it just goes to show, like, because the Republican base, I mean, obviously, needless to say, they are very anti-abortion rights. So it's easy for the Republicans to come in and say, oh, we are pro-life. We are going to support judges who will overturn Roe v. Wade, and we're going to pass these anti-abortion laws. It's easy for them to placate the Republican base by saying that. But they don't tell you that stopping abortion, criminalizing abortion is not going to stop abortions from happening. What is going to stop abortions from happening, as you can clearly see here, is improving the social and economic conditions of the people who are forced to get the abortions. Again, living wage, paid maternity leave, paid parental and medical leave, Medicare for all, these situations that would inherently improve people's lives and it will improve their economic well-being. So really, just this idea that criminalizing abortion is stop it. Again, I have a broken record here, but it's not going to happen. And I know I got some right-wing trolls who are watching my videos. I know that you're probably just going to leave the comments saying, you're a baby killer, Alex. Shut up. Like, seriously. God, I appreciate the housing that you provide for me and your head rent free. I appreciate that. But at the same time, you guys, like, seriously, just sit down and think about this. This is why women get abortions. Why don't you want to go after these? If you're so anti-abortion, then these are the root causes that you should be addressing. Because if you go after the root of the problems, you're going to stop the problem. You're never going to stop the problem by going from the top down. You're always going to stop it from going by the bottom up. So, look, yeah, this is me saying, like, I absolutely believe, like, I believe a woman's right to choose. I believe in a woman's right to choose. But if you are so anti-abortion, like, if you're so anti-choice, and you're so pro-life as you claim to be, then you should support, like, basic economic protections for women who have to get abortions, because then they're less likely to do so. So really, just some food for thought. Maybe you'll take this and you'll just say, I don't care, you're just pro baby killer. Well, I mean, just do me a favor. Just don't call yourself pro-life if you support people dying because of a lack of access to healthcare. Innocent people being bombed overseas by our government, which almost every elected Republican does support. Yeah, way to be pro-life. The death penalty, which 4% of the time, according to a study, kills an innocent person. Yeah, just do me a favor. Don't call yourself pro-life if you support all that. You're not pro-life. You're pro-birth. You're just like, oh, the baby's born now. Now you're all on your own. Oh, you're struggling to make ends meet. Well, we're not going to give you a living wage. Oh, you can't afford healthcare. Sorry, then I just have to die. Yeah. So pro-life Republicans, at least in politics, I don't think I have to say this, but they're not really pro-life. And yeah, I think I've just made my point here. So I'm gonna shut up. Wow, that was heavy. So thank you so much for watching this video. I just wanted to say, first of all, like, thank you guys for 400 subscribers. It really means a lot to me. It's crazy. I got here in the month of August alone. That is just incredible. So let's see if we can get to 500 by the end of September. I think we can. I hope we can, at least. So I just want to announce, because I know I said, like, I was saying I'll get to this in the clip. I never did get to it in the clip about the Texas abortion law, so I'm going to get to it now. I want to make a video about the packing the Supreme Court, because I think now it's more relevant than ever. I'll be doing a video about that. I actually wrote a paper on it for my judicial politics class last semester. So I already have pretty much the whole script written. I'll just repackage it in a way. I want to do a clip. I'm like, do want to do like a video essay on should we pack the court? Should we do something else? I will edit it a little bit, so it's not gonna be up this Friday because I have another video I want to do, but it'll be up the Friday after. So September 17th, that'll be when it comes out. Just thought I'd bring it up now because it's relevant to what I was talking about here. Alright, well, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more of my discussion videos, you can click right over here. Otherwise, my latest video is right over here. Like and subscribe if you like what you see here, and I'll see y'all comrades on Friday. Peace out, everybody.